You've spent all these years watching guys on Instagram and YouTube live the life of your dreams, and you just can't seem to figure out how you can do it. So you try manifesting your dream reality. You try listening to Bob Proctor. You listen to Neville Goddard. You go to sleep with these affirmations playing, and you say affirmations in the mirror, and you think that's going to bring about your dream reality. You know, you want the location freedom. You want freedom over your own time. You don't want someone else telling you when you can take a piss and if you can have 2 days off. You want to be your own boss. You want to build your own thing. So you start looking for external fixes that you think are going to bring about this desired outcome, but it never works. I don't know about you, but I know you've tried some things. I tried drop shipping. I tried Amazon FBA. I tried crypto trading. I tried Forex trading. I was selling fucking dog beds. I was trying to sell them. I didn't sell one. I was trying to sell backpacks. All this stuff. But what I've realized in the last 12 months of going all in on my personal development, all in on my physique, is this. Instead of focusing on how you're going to achieve your dream reality, you need to start focusing on who you need to become to naturally live that dream reality. So you need to ask yourself, who, not how. When I realized this, and it was when I was working with my mentor from last year in September, I started with him. My whole life has changed so dramatically. I used to do the same shit. I used to look for the business idea. I used to look for, the next manifestation course. I spent thousands on manifestation courses, for God's sake, and nothing ever worked. Until I went all in on myself and got lean, like 10% body fat. I rewired my identity. I did the identity work. Every morning I do AM identity and alignment, which is my journaling process that I've created, which now all my clients do. And it is the reason that I have got such massive results in 6 to 8 months. So I used to be a tradie. I spent 16 years in the construction industry. I'm an electrician by trade. I used to just dream and fantasize about this laptop life in Bali. And I just wanted it so bad. I could not stop thinking about it. And I am of the firm belief that God does not put dreams and visions in your head unless you can achieve them. And I knew this, but I still couldn't figure out what to do to achieve this life that I see. I used to see all these guys living, and I used to just scroll at in my bed at night time, just looking at these guys living this life. They're traveling, they're in Bali, they're in Thailand, they're in Dubai, they're making fucking money online, they're doing what they actually love, and they just look happy. I used to watch them and go, how can I do that? So I decided that I really, really needed to get out of the situation I was in. I was a tradie. I was trading my time for money. I was getting older. I'm 32. I'm still 32 now. I was 32 at the time when I decided. And what caused me to make a move was my rock bottom moment, which was I was in Dubai on holiday. I was 20 kilos overweight. I was depressed. I was fucking miserable, to be honest. And then I got a call that would change the course of my life forever. My mum called me and she told me that my recording studio business in Melbourne had been robbed, and we'd lost all of our equipment, all our DJ equipment, sound equipment, $100,000 worth of equipment gone in a flash. And when I was already depressed, that just completely broke me for a brief amount of time. And I sort of had this moment to myself. I had a long time to think about this because I was on a flight home from Rome. So I had about 14 hours or more in a plane just to think. And I started writing all this stuff down that I knew I needed to do and that I didn't like about my life. And I did like a big life audit. And I came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to let this horrible situation and circumstance define me, and I wasn't going to allow it to be the reason that I gave up. I actually turned it, and I wanted it. I knew I needed to make this the turning point, this rock bottom moment. I needed to make this the part of my story where I said, this is it. I knew I wanted to be an online coach for the past 2 years. I knew that was going to be a source of online income to free me from the tools and to allow me to live the life of my dreams, which I've been living for the last 6 months. I moved to Bali in December. I'm now in Australia briefly. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling for the second half of the year. I'm going to Europe, the UK, America, Mexico's on the cards, back to Bali. I've got location freedom. I'm making money online as an online coach. I get to make an impact in people's lives. That's what I wanted to do. So I decided when I got home, even though it was a shitstorm, we were dealing with the police and it was just an absolute fucking nightmare, I decided that, I'm going to be strong. This is my Bruce Wayne moment when, Bruce Wayne, Batman, he became the Batman because he saw his parents get murdered in cold blood. I know this is nowhere near as bad as that moment, but this moment for me was that moment for him. It was my turning point. And I got a coach as soon as I got home and sorted all the shit out with the business. I started looking for guys that had my exact outcome, the physique, the partner, the place they were living, and I found my mentor, Tom, and he was living the life of my dreams. He had a fucking unbelievable physique, built like a brick shit house, and just lean and ripped, which I'd never been in the past. He had a great relationship. He was living in this freaking mansion of a villa. He was living in Bali, which obviously I told you was a massive dream of mine. And he had a coaching business that was doing over £100,000 a month. And he just knew everything at such a high level, but he also knew how to get people absolutely fucking diced, which I knew is what I needed to take. That was the first step that I knew I needed to take. It was the first thing I wrote down in my journal. So started working with Tom. I started getting lean. It just started unlocking this new level of self-belief that I'd never had. Confidence, clarity. Like, the clarity was insane. So another thing it unlocked was when you get lean and you prove to yourself that you can push through hunger and you can do all this stuff, you can train when you don't want, you've got discipline, you actually stop caring what anybody thinks. You don't care anymore, which allowed me to pick up my phone, start filming content, posting stuff on Instagram, which grew my following, which attracted, clients to me that I could help. I could actually help these people and they could pay me money in exchange. It's just an exchange of value. And fast forward to now, I run a successful online coaching business. I've got nearly 20 clients. I only started in November. November was the 3rd, was when I signed my first client. And all of this was only possible when I decided to go all in on my physique. I have this, my slogan of life, and to all my clients, I tell them this: physique is the gateway. It's the gateway to everything that you've ever wanted. It literally will change your life in ways that you can't even fathom right now, feeling how you're feeling right now. But I just want everyone watching this to understand that, yes, you might be 20 kilos overweight. You might be fucking sad. You might be waking up, going through the motions, living life on autopilot. But you don't have to stay that way. And discipline is hard at the beginning. But that's why I got a coach, because he just held me accountable. He gave me a structure. He gave me a system. He gave me the journaling system that I was doing in the morning that was rewiring my identity. Then I was jumping on calls in the group calls every week and just getting knowledge. And then I invested in him again because I knew he could help me build my brand. So I wasn't scared to invest in myself. If the pain of where you are right now is that severe, you will make a change. It's just inevitable. It took me many years to get to that low point. And yeah, but I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest, because I absolutely love my life right now. It's only getting better. And yeah, you can do this too. Like, physique is the gateway. I'll never stop talking about it because it dragged me out of the pits of fucking hell. Depressed as anything, business gone, life was completely fucked. And I managed to turn myself around purely just through working on my physique, getting jacked, unlocked a new high frequency that I'd never felt before, and life is absolutely amazing. So yeah, that should be your step one, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.